Tally-ho, old chap, and a jolly good morning to you. Today we're brewing the sweet and malty style of London Brown Ale, and we're going behind the scenes of my brew day. My name is Martin Keane and I'm taking the Homebrew Challenge to brew 99 beers in 99 weeks, and each week I show you my brew day as I mash, boil and chill my wort. But that's really only half the story, because the other thing that I'm doing each time is filming this whole thing. So I thought today, as I brew today's beer, it might be interesting to take a look behind the scenes at the other stuff that I'm doing on brew day as well. So this is my home brewery setup. You've seen it many times from these angles, but from this wide angle here, perhaps you can see how small the area is. It's I can't quite touch both sides of the wall with my arms out, but it's not far off. So I do have to be very careful to maximize the space in every way that I can. Now I have three cameras recording here. I have this main camera, this side camera here, and then this camera here above me. They're all recording at a higher resolution than I need, which means that they can zoom in on me without losing quality, maybe not that much. And they also are recording at a higher frame rate than I need, so that I can slow things down if I need to. Now with all the cameras rolling, let's get the grain in. Oh, it smells biscuity and wonderful already. Now this beer, London Brown Ale, is also known as Southern Brown Ale. The southern refers to the southern part of England. I am from the south of England originally, from Southampton, so this is a style that really resonates with me. Okay, the wort already has just a wonderful chocolatey appearance to it. Let's get it mashing. I think this is the part where I wander off and talk about the recipe. Now at this point, typically I'll grab my iPad and remind myself of the recipe, because it's probably been weeks since I put it together. Now this beer, it is sweet, malty with caramel and toffee flavors, which is quite different from the Northern Brown version, which perhaps is a little bit less sweet and a little bit more nutty. Now the beer that I'm building here is going to have an original gravity of 1035, so around about 3.5% ABV. As for the ingredients, well, this is when I'll usually take a sneaky look at my iPad. Oh yes, main base malt is Maris Otter, that is 57% of the grist. And then I'm using extra dark crystal malt that has a SRM of around 120, and I'm using that at 14%. I'm using 70% each of brown malt, crystal 80 and crystal 45, and 4% each of chocolate rye and pale chocolate malt. Now the history of London Brown Ale goes back hundreds of years, but perhaps it's best encapsulated by a beer in the late 1800s called Man's Brown Ale. It was billed as the sweetest beer in London. That's one example, but there are plenty of brown ales all across southern England. And speaking of southern England, well, that does relate to my home brewery name, Saints and Devils, which you may know refers to two English soccer teams. There's Saints, that's my team, Southampton, which is unsurprisingly in the south of England. And then so there's my buddy's name, Devils. We don't need to talk about those guys. Now, as I was looking through my phone to find some pictures of me enjoying some wonderful beverages in southern England, I came across this old video of me visiting the mighty Saints in person. Look, this is a total indulgence, it's not beer related, but I couldn't do a whole series of videos with this in the background without at least showing the mighty Saints once. In exactly 15 hours from now, Southampton, my team, are playing Arsenal in the English Premier League. And I've got a ticket. Only problem is the game is being played in Southampton, England, and I'm in Raleigh, USA. Time to get moving. At the airport, 14 hours till kickoff. Delayed. We are now taking off. 9.5 hours to kick off. Now I just need to dig out my car. 2 hours till kick-off. Honestly, Saints, they're not the best team, but I've continued the family tradition and passed the misery on to the next generation too. There's not a whole lot to do when it comes to hops with this beer. I'm going to be using Fuggle. This will give me around 18 IBU of bitterness, and the Fuggle will be in the wort for 45 minutes. Looks like I hit my original gravity number right on the money. The yeast for this one, I'm using London L3. This is Wyeast 1318. I'm going to be fermenting this one at my usual 68 Fahrenheit or 20 Celsius.
What tap is it?
1.
Okay.
So this is the behind the scenes of the tasting. It's Thursday. We normally do the tastings on Thursdays.
Wednesdays or Thursdays.
Yeah. Gives us time then gives me time to edit it, get a thumbnail, send that to Atlantic Brew Supply, have them put it on the website and come up with the recipe webpage and so forth. So, English brown ale, specifically Southern or London brown ale today.
Oh yeah, I remember. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I forgot what we were drinking for a minute.
Yeah, so, is it brown?
It looks very brown to me.
That smells like a English pub brown ale, right?
Yeah, it does too. It smells a bit like caramel.
Yeah.
Sweet. It smells a bit sweet.
It does. There is a sweet tone to that. Yeah, coffee, caramel, not coffee. Caramel or
Toffee.
Toffee. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. All right, well, let's give it a try. How do you drink from these things like this? Or like?
That's more of a cup of tea, or like a cup of
a cup of tea. Yeah, that's right.
Hold.
Warming your hands.
This is
okay. That has got that little bit of caramel taste to it, quite sweet to it, quite light as well, light-bodied, I would say. Well, thank you for watching and seeing how the sausage is made. Next week, it's another smoky beer.
Yep, no, I'm good. You can find somebody else for that one.
Well, okay then. See you next week.
I waved. That was so dorky. No cheers.
No cheers. Cheers.